There are some people who walk through life with a quiet question burning inside them. Why do I feel so different? They sit in rooms full of laughter yet feel strangely disconnected. They chase the goals everyone else celebrates, only to find them empty and hollow. They try to blend into the crowd, but something in them refuses to shrink into the shape of the ordinary. If you've ever felt like this world wasn't designed for the way you see, think, and feel, you're not alone. Throughout history, there have always been individuals who carried a different kind of vision. People who could sense patterns others overlooked, who absorbed emotions others ignored, who questioned authority when blind obedience was expected. These people often paid the price of isolation, but they also carried within them the seeds of transformation. Their very existence challenged the hive mind, reminding humanity that life is not about conformity, but about becoming. This speech is about those individuals. It's about the 8 unmistakable signs that reveal you are not meant to live within the narrow walls of ordinary existence. These signs aren't flaws or weaknesses. They're evidence that your mind and soul are evolving in ways that push beyond the limits of collective thinking. And while this journey can feel lonely, it carries a purpose far greater than personal survival. If you recognize yourself in these signs, then you are not broken. You are different for a reason. You are here not to fit into the world as it is, but to help it become what it could be. So listen closely, because these signs may explain the deepest truths about who you really are and why you've always felt set apart. You see hidden patterns and connections that others walk past without noticing, and this is not a small thing. It is one of the clearest signs that you are not meant to live entirely within the collective mold. Most people move through the world with their eyes fixed only on what is obvious. They see events in isolation, conversations as surface-level exchanges, and situations as random occurrences. But for you, nothing feels random. You notice how one moment connects to another, how people's words reveal hidden truths about their state of mind, how history repeats itself in subtle cycles, and how symbols show up in your life almost as if reality itself were speaking directly to you. This way of perceiving is not about being smarter or more observant. It is about having a different kind of vision. Carl Jung called it symbolic thinking, the ability to see beneath appearances and read the language of the unconscious. While most people are satisfied with linear logic and surface meaning, you are drawn toward depth. You recognize when a conversation carries a deeper undertone, when a dream reveals something about your future, or when a series of events aligns in a way that feels too precise to be mere coincidence. At times, this gift can feel like a burden. When you see what others miss, you can feel isolated, as if you are carrying knowledge that no one else understands or even wants to understand. It can make you question yourself. Am I imagining this? Am I overthinking? But deep down, you know you're not. You're simply tuned into layers of reality that most people ignore because they're too busy staying comfortable within the surface world. The reason this matters so much is because seeing patterns means you also see meaning. You see where situations are heading long before they unfold. You can sense the consequences of actions while others stumble blindly into them. This makes you not just an observer, but a guide. And while it might feel lonely at times, it is also a rare and essential role. Humanity evolves not through those who repeat the same patterns, but through those who notice the pattern, break it, and reveal another way forward. You are one of those people. And though it may feel as if this world wasn't built for your eyes, Jung would remind you that the world desperately needs them. Social situations drain you, not because you dislike people, but because of how deeply you experience them. When you walk into a room, you don't just hear voices or see faces. You pick up on the tension behind someone's smile, the uneasiness in their body language, the subtle undercurrents that most others don't even notice. For many, a gathering is lighthearted and energizing. For you, it feels like being submerged in a river of emotions that aren't even yours. You leave conversations carrying pieces of other people with you. Their worries, frustrations, and hidden pain cling to your mind long after the interaction ends. What should be casual talk often becomes heavy because you absorb it like a sponge. This is why crowds exhaust you. The noise is not just external, it's internal, 1,000 unspoken feelings flooding into your awareness all at once. It's easy to mistake this sensitivity as weakness, but in truth it's the opposite. It shows that your perception runs deeper than most. Where others skim the surface, you absorb the essence. Where others socialize without thought, you sense the invisible exchanges happening between words and gestures. This is why small talk feels empty, and why shallow relationships never satisfy you. The exhaustion you feel in social settings is the cost of carrying a heightened awareness. It means your nervous system is finely tuned, and while that can leave you drained, it also gives you insight others lack. The challenge is not to silence this part of yourself, but to learn how to protect your energy, choosing carefully where and with whom you share it, because your presence is powerful, but only when you preserve enough strength to offer it fully. Authority has always stirred something deep within you, a quiet resistance that you can't fully explain. It's not about being rebellious for the sake of it, and it's not about refusing structure or guidance. What unsettles you is when authority demands obedience without wisdom, when power insists on being followed simply because it holds a title. Something in you recoils when you see control used to suppress rather than to guide, when rules are enforced without reason, or when voices of truth are silenced for the comfort of the powerful. From an early age, you may have struggled with institutions, whether school, workplace, or even social traditions. The moment someone expects blind compliance, you feel an instinctive pull to question it. Not because you enjoy conflict, but because something within you recognizes that truth should never be reduced to hierarchy. You sense that respect must be earned, not demanded, and that real leadership inspires rather than commands. This resistance can make you feel like an outsider. Others may see your questioning as defiance, when in reality it is discernment. You are not against order, but you refuse to surrender your inner compass to authority that lacks depth, empathy, or justice. While many find safety in following, you find unease in conformity because you know that obedience without thought leads to emptiness and even harm. Your instinctive resistance to authority is not a flaw, but a signal that you were made to live by a higher standard of truth. It is the part of you that refuses to bow to shallow power and insists on aligning with something greater. Though it may isolate you at times, it is also what protects your authenticity and keeps your spirit unbroken. Conventional success has a way of feeling strangely hollow to you. You can work hard, reach the milestones that others celebrate, and even taste the rewards that society calls achievement. But once the applause fades and the dust settles, there's an emptiness that lingers. The promotions, the possessions, the recognition, all of it feels like chasing shadows. It may bring a brief rush, but it never fills the deeper space inside you that craves meaning. For most, the markers of success are enough to create satisfaction. A steady income, a respected position, the approval of peers. These things provide comfort and a sense of belonging. But for you, they feel incomplete, as if you've been handed a script written by someone else and told this is what life should be about. No matter how closely you follow it, something within you whispers that this is not the whole story. What you long for isn't more trophies or applause, but depth. You want your life to matter in ways that cannot be measured by titles or bank balances. You want to feel connected to a purpose, to create something that outlives you, to know that your existence is tied to more than a cycle of working, consuming, and proving. This is why conventional success feels empty, because it isn't aligned with the truth of who you are. You are oriented not toward achievement for its own sake, but toward meaning, growth, and contribution. What others see as the finish line, you see as a distraction from the real journey. And though this may set you apart, it also protects you from living a life that looks full on the outside but feels barren within. Your hunger for meaning is not a weakness. It's the clearest sign that your spirit was made for more. You carry the emotions of others as if they were your own, often without even realizing it at first. A simple conversation can leave you heavy with feelings that weren't yours to begin with. A friend's worry, a stranger's frustration, even the quiet sadness in someone's eyes can settle into your chest and stay with you long after the moment has passed. Where others walk away untouched, you walk away carrying invisible weight. This sensitivity can be exhausting. Crowded places feel overwhelming because they are not just filled with people, but with an ocean of emotions pressing in from all sides. Anger, fear, joy, longing. You sense them all. Sometimes it feels like your own emotional boundaries dissolve, and you are left trying to sort out what belongs to you and what belongs to everyone else. Yet this same ability that drains you is also a rare form of depth. To feel this strongly is to be able to connect in ways that most cannot. You don't just hear words, you hear what is behind them. You don't just see a smile, you sense whether it's real or forced. You know when someone is in pain even when they say they're fine. This makes you the kind of presence people instinctively trust, because they can feel that you truly understand them. The challenge for you is learning how to hold this gift without being consumed by it. You are not meant to carry the whole world's feelings on your shoulders, though sometimes it feels like you do. What you are meant to do is transform this sensitivity into compassion, into wisdom, into guidance that helps others feel seen. Your ability to absorb emotions is not a curse. It's proof that your heart was built to reach further than most. Your mind doesn't stop at the surface of things. Where others see events as simple cause and effect, you see layers of meaning woven beneath them. Life speaks to you in symbols, and you have a natural instinct for translating those symbols into understanding. A dream isn't just a dream, it's a message. A chance encounter isn't just coincidence. It's a sign pointing to something larger. Even the struggles you face take on the shape of archetypes, universal patterns that connect your personal story to something timeless. This way of thinking sets you apart because most people are content with literal explanations. They accept things as they appear, satisfied with a straightforward answer, but you cannot. You feel that every experience carries depth. Every symbol hints at truths just beyond the reach of words. You are drawn to myths, stories, art, and imagery because they mirror what you already sense, that the human soul speaks in pictures more than in logic. At times, this symbolic way of seeing can make you feel misunderstood. When you try to explain the patterns you notice, others may dismiss it as overthinking or imagination. But for you, it's not imagination. It's the language of life itself. Symbols give form to truths too vast for plain sentences. Archetypes reveal that your journey is not just personal, but part of a larger, universal process. Thinking in symbols means you carry an inner compass that points toward deeper meaning. It allows you to find guidance where others see only randomness, to recognize wisdom hidden in stories, to see your struggles not as failures, but as necessary passages in a greater journey. This gift is not meant to isolate you. It is meant to remind you that life is not just survival, but a dialogue between the soul and the mystery it lives within. Crisis has a way of breaking people, but for you it does something different. Every time life knocks you down, something inside of you refuses to stay shattered. Instead, you rise from the wreckage changed, deeper, and somehow stronger than before. Where others see only endings, you sense beginnings hidden within them. Pain, though brutal, becomes a teacher. Loss, though devastating, strips away illusions and forces you closer to what is real. You don't just survive difficulty, you are reshaped by it. This transformation isn't easy. In the middle of the storm, you feel the same fear, despair, and hopelessness as anyone else. There are moments when it feels like you will not make it through, when the weight of it all threatens to crush you. But something within you always stirs, a quiet strength that awakens only when everything else has fallen apart. That inner force guides you through the fire, and when you emerge, you are never the same person you were before. It is this pattern of transformation through crisis that marks you as different. Many people spend their lives avoiding pain at all costs, clinging desperately to comfort and stability. But you know, even if reluctantly, that the breaking is part of the becoming. Every wound carries the seed of renewal. Every collapse holds the possibility of rebirth. Because of this, you develop a kind of resilience that is rare. You understand that crisis is not just destruction, it is initiation. It forces you to shed old identities, outdated beliefs, and shallow attachments so that you can step closer to your truest self. Each trial chisels away what is false, leaving behind a version of you that is more authentic, more awake, and more aligned with what really matters. There is a quiet pull inside you that never goes away, a sense that your life is not only about yourself, but about helping others see more clearly. You feel called to awaken people, to lift the veil they live behind, even when you don't always know how to explain what you sense. It's not about preaching or forcing your perspective, it's about guiding, showing others that there is more to life than routines, possessions, and surface-level goals. This calling often shows up in small ways. You notice when someone is pretending to be fine, but is secretly hurting, and you feel compelled to offer comfort. You see when people are trapped in patterns that keep them stuck, and you long to show them a different way. Sometimes just your presence shifts something in others. They leave conversations with you feeling lighter, as though a part of them has been recognized that no one else noticed. But carrying this calling isn't always easy. It can feel like a burden when you're surrounded by people who resist change, who cling to old habits and fear deeper truths. At times you may even doubt yourself, wondering if it would be easier to stay quiet and blend in. Yet the pull within you doesn't disappear because it's not just a choice. It's who you are. You are meant to act as a mirror, reflecting back the parts of people they've forgotten. You are meant to be a spark, igniting awareness in lives that feel dim. And while not everyone will welcome it, those who are ready will find in you the guidance they were searching for. This is your purpose, to awaken, to remind, to help others step into the fullness of who they are. So, if these 8 signs resonate with you, understand this. Your difference is not an accident, and it's not a mistake. The world may not always understand you, but that's because you were not meant to simply reflect it. You were meant to change it. You were given eyes to see what others cannot, a heart that feels what others overlook, and a spirit that refuses to bow to shallow definitions of success or belonging. The question is not whether you fit into this world as it is. The real question is whether you will rise to the responsibility of helping it become more than it is. That is the task of the outsider, the visionary, the one who cannot pretend to be satisfied with half-truths and empty rituals. Your call to action is simple but urgent. Stop apologizing for being different. Stop diluting your vision to make others comfortable. Stop trying to blend into a world you were born to transform. Instead, honor your path. Use your sensitivity as a compass, your insight as a lantern, and your resilience as proof that you were made for more. This world does not need more conformity. It needs more people willing to stand in their truth and light the way forward. That is you, that has always been you. So step into the fullness of who you are and let your very existence remind others that there is a deeper, truer way to live. The journey of not belonging is really the journey of becoming. And when you choose to become who you truly are, you don't just change your life, you change the direction of humanity itself.